My name is Wayne Kimmel. I'm an entrepreneur and venture capitalist. And over the last 20 years, I've had the opportunity to work with incredible people, entrepreneurs, innovators, founders who have created incredible companies and changed many industries and truly have changed the world. Now, I believe over the next 20 plus years, these same entrepreneurs, other entrepreneurs, young people who don't even know what entrepreneurship even is yet, will be the ones who will truly change healthcare. Now, I'm going to share 3 reasons why I believe that. Number 1, I'm going to talk about the qualities of an entrepreneur. What it's all about to be an entrepreneur. What do you need to be to become a successful entrepreneur? 2, there's a special quality that I believe you need to have to be a healthcare entrepreneur. And 3rd, I want to talk about the global conditions that make it the time. As my company, Startup Health, says, the golden age of entrepreneurship. Why is it that time right now? We talk about entrepreneurship. We talk about entrepreneurs. And an entrepreneur, and you see on Shark Tank, and you see Mark Cuban and all those sharks out there talking about entrepreneurship, and it's all about having the passion and the drive and desire to make it. But that's just part of it. That's just part of it. You know, I hear a lot of professors at different universities talk about that, and that's the obvious stuff. This is the obvious stuff. It's in the textbooks, but it's more. I believe you have to be nice. You also have to be smart, and you have to want to change the world to be truly a great, great entrepreneur. Now, why do I say nice? How many venture capitalists do you know talk about being nice? Well, nice is something that's humongous and so important to me, because all those overnight successes you hear about, those companies that are ringing the bell at the stock exchange, that are the overnight successes that take 10 years, 10 years. So as a venture capitalist, to have an opportunity to work with people, I want to make sure I work with the right kinds of people. And that's what I believe should be across all entrepreneurs. They should be the right kind of people to make it happen. You've got to really love what you want to do as an entrepreneur, because it's hard. It's really hard to go do something that other people may call you crazy. They may call you crazy. Your idea may be crazy. It may be something that is just something that's so far out there. But you're the one who sees it. You may see it. You may know that 5 years out, what I'm talking about now that no one else understands is the way life is going to be. And that's, again, this whole being an entrepreneur, what that's all about. And this quote that was in the commercial when Steve Jobs came back at Apple as the CEO, and it's about the crazy ones. And to me, this epitomizes entrepreneurship. When you talk about this quote where he says, while some see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the ones who are crazy enough to try to change the world are the ones who do. And to me, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Those are the types of people that will truly change the world and change healthcare as well. So what's happened over the last 20 so years? There's been this incredible digital disruption where technology and the internet have changed lots of industries. Lots of industries have been changed. Media, telecom, publishing, retail, banking, music, all these industries have been changed, big time, by technology. But where's healthcare in all this? Where's the healthcare system? Why not healthcare yet? Well, I'm going to tell you that I think it's the time. But I'm going to tell you why. It's because, to my second point, entrepreneurs in the healthcare space, there's a special quality that they have. And it's this quality that something personal about what they're trying to go do. Every entrepreneur that I know in the healthcare space has a story. It's about their daughter, it's about their mom, it's about their grandmother. There's a reason why they're doing this. Because, as I said earlier, you gotta love it, you really gotta love it, but this is a whole nother level. You will not stop until you figure it out. And that's why I believe The healthcare entrepreneurs today will be the ones that will truly make it happen. Because this is that key piece, this key personal piece to make it happen. Now look, one personal story, why I care about this. It's a picture of my dad, my brother and I at an Eagles game. My dad's looking great. But he's had cancer 2 times. And he's beat it, luckily, because he's tough. And I'm really lucky to have a dad like that. But a lot of people aren't that lucky. And having cancer 1 time is too much. And we got to do something about this. And I want to do something about this. And I want to work with entrepreneurs and people who want to try to eradicate this disease. That's why I'm so supportive of what the vice president is trying to go do with his cancer moonshot. And anything to try to stop these types of diseases. It's just too much. 1 time is too much. Now, it's not any innovation in healthcare in the last 20 years or the future. There has been some. And fortunately, I've been involved with some entrepreneurs that have actually done some things in the space. I was very fortunate to work with 2 entrepreneurs who had this healthcare clinics inside of pharmacies, staffed by nurse practitioners to take care of people's common ailments. And those are what you know today as those clinics you see in pharmacies, whether it's in CVS, it's a Minute Clinic, or in Walgreens, they're healthcare clinics. And fortunately, we sold our company to Walgreens. And that was incredible to work with these 2 guys who, over 10 years ago, people were saying to them, what are you, crazy? You're going to walk into a pharmacy and get checked out by a nurse practitioner? That'll never happen. Well, they made it happen. And it was pretty awesome working with them. And now the 2 are off doing other things in the healthcare industry, even more amazing things. So now is the time. This is the time when I believe entrepreneurs will change healthcare. This is this once-in-a-moment lifetime opportunity that we have for the reimagination of healthcare. Now, why? Why? Because look, there's all these conditions and forces that are occurring right now that will make this thing happen. And this is the 3rd point that I wanted to talk about. Right now, and this is really an incredible of conditions that are occurring. Now, these conditions were shared with me by one of my portfolio companies, Startup Health. Steve Krein and his founder, Unity Stokes, shared these 5 conditions with the president and vice president in the Oval Office 5 years ago and told them this is what's happening and it's going to continue to occur. And what Steve and Unity talked about was number 1, about globalization. About right now, we're talking about the fact that there's this opportunity to gather information from all around the globe and learn from others. There's this thing that's going on, which happened here in the United States with healthcare reform. Whether you like it or not, it's accelerated entrepreneurs to try to figure out what to do because of these new changes. Digital health. What's happening with digital health today and technology and the fact that it's so much cheaper to start a company today than it was in the past will allow entrepreneurs to truly get into this industry big time. The idea, the urgency today, because chronic disease and aging and costs are going up like crazy. We got to do something about that right now. And you put that all together with what we've talked about before is the golden age of entrepreneurship for these entrepreneurs. This opportunity right now to take all these conditions and make something happen. In these types of industries, cancer, eliminate costs. I mean, think about this, the cost of healthcare today. Why not bring it all the way down to potentially nothing? How crazy an idea would that be? Well, it's a kind of a crazy idea that the banking industry is where it is today, and then what happened, in the last 20 plus years in that industry. Why not here in healthcare? Being able to do things to allow people to live longer, to have mental and brain health, help figure out ways to make that better, to make it better for everyone. Why not? Eliminate chronic disease or make it better, make it better. So I think there's 2 things that are going to enable these entrepreneurs to be successful. Number 1, data. There's so much data out there today that entrepreneurs will be able to dig in and figure out what's happening with that. I mean, think about this. 33% of the people in the world track their fitness as well as their health through bands or other types of wearables. Think about that. So 1/3 of the people in the world are out using this stuff in some way, shape, or fashion. And that number will probably grow. And that data will continue to grow and grow and grow. So what does it all mean? Who's digging into all that and figuring it all out? Well, there are some big companies out there that are trying to work on that. whether that's Microsoft or Google or GE. And there are companies that are pretty big as well that are growing up, like companies like Under Armour. That was once just a t-shirt company. But it's big time in healthcare today. Big time, spending close to $700 million, or even more than $700 million in this industry to buy companies, work with companies, figure out new ways to use this data. And I think that's a huge opportunity for entrepreneurs. And the second piece I think is huge, is there is funding out there today. There is money for entrepreneurs to start companies. It's out there, not only to start companies, to grow companies. Because it's not just about the startups, it's about all the companies. So if you look at the numbers today, and these numbers come from Startup Health, we're at about a place right now where we're close to $7 billion has been invested in just digital health. So that number will be, I believe, north of $7-8 billion that will go into digital health companies this year. So entrepreneurs have that opportunity. They have the data, they have all the information that's out there that's flowing, and they have all this funding. So I believe that now is the time. This is the time when entrepreneurs will truly change healthcare. Thank you.